Welcome to Mysteries, Myths, and Legends. I'm Taylor.
I'm Savannah.
And welcome to the show. Happy Wednesday, everybody.
Happy Wednesday. Taylor, how are you doing?
I'm okay. How are you doing?
Just rocking and rolling.
Yeah, just rocking and rolling, baby. Yeah, I guess I'm doing as well as I could possibly be doing given all of the circumstances in our world today.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And on that note, I do have some exciting things coming up though in my little world.
Ooh.
I have some concerts I'm going to.
Ooh, okay. See, we love that.
Mm-hmm.
Which ones?
Yeah, I'm going to see the Rex.
Mm-hmm.
They're like a small indie band, and if you haven't heard of them, look them up.
Yeah, no, they have really good music.
Yeah, they're amazing.
Shout out.
I'm going to see them, and I'm also going to see Big Time Rush.
I'm so freaking jealous, Savannah. I'm so jealous. I
Have you seen them
couldn't
before?
make it. No, I've never freaking seen them before.
Oh, I've seen them a few times.
Savannah says, "Oh," rolls my eyes. Poor. No, I'm just kidding. But no,
No,
I've never seen them.
It's just because every band would go to Philly, so like
Yeah, I
we
was gonna
had
say
access to literally anybody.
for sure.
Like I saw Demi Lovato for free one time.
Okay, don't even get me started on Demi because I have so much beef with Demi Lovato. I was supposed to see them perform in North Carolina somewhere like a couple years ago, and they canceled it.
What?
Because of like some bill that some governor had passed.
Oh, I did hear about that actually.
The bathroom bill, which was just so stupid. But I'm like, you're really gonna rob everybody. I understand they had to do it for the movement, but I was just so sad because it was her and Nick Jonas.
That
I know it was a big L for me.
Okay.
No, but I do love Stan Demi Lovato. Honestly.
Yeah.
Honestly, so. But that's so crazy. You're going to see Big Time Rush.
I know, and I'm going with like my whole family. My mom got she bought all the tickets, and she got like
Wait, is your dad
herself
going?
and all of my sisters and me. But then she got my dad a ticket too.
Because I'm trying to picture him at the concert.
Because her theory was like, okay, well if I tell him we're all gonna be leaving for the day, he's just gonna be bored at home. So we're just gonna bring him with, so.
Yeah, I definitely cannot see your dad at a Big Time Rush concert personally.
Okay, well, I mean, I'll take pictures.
Please do, because that is so funny.
Yeah, it'll be like the first one of these type of concerts he's been to. Because usually we do just leave him at home.
For sure.
But, we had to.
Had to invite him. I have a question. Is the bodyguard guy going to be there?
Oh my God. I
love him. Gustavo.
Gustavo's not the bodyguard.
Or what? Oh, I mean the producer. That's what I meant.
He's the producer.
That's what I meant.
They do have a bodyguard though too in the show.
Yeah, so that's why I got confused.
No, I don't think he is. I wish they would bring back this show, Big Time Rush. I know. Because that was
I'm also just like curious to see like, is it going to be all girls like our age there or like young girls or both?
I know. I think the opener for the concert is she's on TikTok. Why am I forgetting her name? Is it Dixie D'Amelio? I think it might be
Dixie D'Amelio.
She sings, right?
Savannah. Yes, she sings. What? Okay.
I think she's opening for them, and it's like so weird.
Are you literally singing Dixie D'Amelio?
I mean, I don't know any of her music.
Okay. First of all, this is the first time of me in my whole life hearing of this. That's so crazy. I love Dixie, personally.
Send me some of her songs.
You definitely
so I can know
have
them.
heard her music. I would sing it, but I don't want to get copywritten by the D'Amelios. So I'm not going to do it, but I'll sing it to you after. Remind me.
Yeah. Just send me some of the songs so I can know them.
Yeah.
But I think that's probably so they can have the younger audience, and then the older audience is all of like, the people who used to watch the show and
100%. Yeah. That's so true. Wow.
Yeah.
That's going to be so fun.
Yeah. I'm excited.
I have literally no nose. None whatsoever.
Yeah. Well, I'll put some of the some clips from the shows that I go to on our like Insta story
Oh
if
yes, you
anybody's
definitely
interested.
should. You should. You should. Specifically, can you put Dixie D'Amelio just so I can see?
Yeah, no, I'll send you stuff. Yeah.
Okay, listen, we're not sponsored, okay, by Hulu. However, go on Hulu and watch the D'Amelio show because it's honestly so good.
Okay.
It
Yeah,
sounds like
yeah.
a joke, but I'm being really serious. Okay.
Is it
But
like the Kardashians? I know we're
yeah,
really like just
yeah. Like, yeah,
on a
welcome to
tangent right
TV
now,
Corner. The
but
first 15 minutes of our podcast, we always talk about just what we're watching. So sorry about it. Um, but yeah, it's like their reality show, like for their
right.
family.
Okay.
So you like get to learn a lot. It's like really cool. I love it. I love any show like that. But moving
Yeah.
along from those topics, please rate and review us on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. And with that, I have absolutely no other intro topics to talk about.
Yeah, me either.
Let's
let's
dive right in.
let's do it. So this week I have something that I've been wanting to talk about for like kind of a while now, but I just hadn't gotten to it. Angels.
Yes. Oh my gosh, yes. I remember having many conversations about doing this topic, so I'm very excited.
Yeah, because like there's so much about them that
We're
like to get
confused about.
into.
Yeah, like
And yeah,
yeah.
yeah, and that we're confused about too. But I'm like, and I was also trying to approach it from like a not too religious
Yeah,
approach,
for
you know,
sure.
and more of like on the legend side of it.
Mhm.
So I tried to do that. So hopefully
I'm sure you executed it well.
yeah.
We will see.
Yeah. So okay, yeah, let's just start talking about them. So angels, like how we know them today, look like humans, you know?
For sure. Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
some of my favorite ones in like media and TV shows, Cass in Supernatural. Have you seen Supernatural?
No. I haven't.
Okay, well I was one of those cringy people who like really watched Supernatural. But anyways, some stuff about like this character, his true form is like this bright light, and then he will take the form of a human on Earth. He actually like possesses a human
Oh.
on Earth. And he'll like have powers to heal and teleport and like other things like that.
Whoa.
And that's sort of like that is definitely taking the idea of a real angel and like adapting it a little bit into like what people think one is,
Yeah.
you know? Cuz like it's really, I don't know. I feel like nobody really can describe what they think an angel is except for it's just like a being that protects and
Yeah. No, definitely. That's the only way
Yeah.
I know how to describe it.
And then I have another example. Have you seen Good Omens? Probably not.
Actually, I
No.
did in fact watch one episode, and that was it.
Okay. Well, there's an angel in that too, Aziraphale, and he also has human form. So like looks like a human and has like powers. So that's pretty much like what we've made modern angels into.
Yeah.
But like they were not like this originally. They were like pretty crazy originally.
Ooh, I'm excited. I had no idea.
Definitely in there's also like a whole other genre of them of being like cherubs
Yeah.
and stuff like that too.
Okay, that's what I was gonna say because you were like, in Meteor or whatever. Have you seen what's it called? Night at the Museum 2? Well, there's like 3 cherubs like in the museum or whatever, like some art piece, and it's like
Yeah.
the Jonas Brothers play them.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah.
So
And
this
they're
whole
like
time,
flying around.
yeah. So that's what I'm imagining every time you say angel.
Yeah, so there's like little cherub angels. They actually came from like Renaissance art. And they're basically, if you don't know what I'm talking about, they're little babies
They're
with
literal
wings.
baby
That's
angels.
pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
And the main angel that's like shown as one of these is Cupid.
Mm-hmm.
But like he's not even, see, that's another thing. It just gets into a whole mess of things because Cupid
Yeah.
is actually like a Roman god, right?
Yeah.
Or something
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
But they make him into a cherub, so then he's an angel. It's just a whole thing.
Truly. A whole thing.
Yeah. And actually bringing it back to like, scripture where angels come from, there's no like baby like angels in the Bible at all.
Oh, that's
So like
interesting.
originally
So we just like
that
made
was
them
not
up.
a thing. Yeah. That came from like the Latin word for boy,
Mm-hmm.
puto. It somehow made it into cherub, and it's just, I don't
Interesting.
know.
Okay, but here's what confuses me. You say like there's no mention of any like angel like babies. But like weren't angels once a baby?
Actually, no, because I'm gonna get into like what they're actually described as,
Okay, great.
and
Cool.
they're kind of crazy.
Nice. I'm excited.
So this is, yeah, okay. So there's actually four different types of angels.
Okay.
Yeah. The first one, actually, we're gonna go from like the lowest rank up into the highest
Okay.
because they're ranked too, of course.
Of course.
The first one that we're talking about is Cherobium. So these are the cherubs, but they're not like the cherubs that we know of.
Uh-oh.
They're animal human hybrids.
Oh, interesting.
Yes, and they are there to guard the Garden of Eden against the humans. So like
Oh,
keep them
okay.
out, I guess.
Where is even the Garden of Eden?
I don't really know. I didn't really look into that part of it,
That's
but I
very
guess
strange, but I guess I get it. Somebody's got to watch over it.
it gets a little stranger. They have four faces.
Oh, absolutely not.
Yeah, and they're all different. So they have the face of a lion, an ox, an eagle, and a human.
Excuse me? All
Yeah.
on one body?
Yeah.
Okay.
And their body is not really normal either.
Well, I didn't figure it would be.
So they have like straight legs, which I don't.
Like
Okay.
human?
Sure, we'll say that. They have four wings,
Okay.
and they have bull hooves for feet.
Okay.
Yep.
I need somebody, one of our listeners out there, to draw a rendition of this, please, and submit it. I want to draw it
Yeah.
myself, actually.
I mean, I said there's four types, right? They get crazier.
Oh, my Lord.
So, okay. Also, though, these cherubs, the one set of wings covers their body, and then the other is for flight.
Oh. Okay.
So I guess
Cool.
one they use as like clothes. They're just like, let's
Yeah.
cover up.
Yeah, it's like our blanket.
Yeah. Yeah, so somehow that kind of cherub turned into like a little baby. Which I'm still like, I don't really understand.
No, I definitely don't understand.
Yeah. Okay, but the next highest rank is Malachim. And these are the closest looking to humans.
Okay.
They're third in rank, and the name originates from the Hebrew word for messenger, which is Malachi. And then that later became the Greek angelos, and then angel. I don't really know how words work, because it's like, how is that turned into...
Right. Lord, don't ask me. I'm not the person.
But somehow, I don't know. So yeah, they're closest looking to humans, and they can act on God's behalf, I guess.
Oh.
In the Bible they do.
In the Bible they do?
Yeah, like some of them do. So I have examples here.
Okay.
Michael in the Old Testament Passover story, apparently he acts on behalf of God and like does something in that story.
He does
should
something,
have
yeah, for sure.
written it down better. But this one I know. I wrote down a second one that I actually know about. So they can act as messengers, like how Gabriel in the New Testament told Mary of her Immaculate Conception.
Oh, okay.
So these ones are the ones that are actually like, seen by people, I guess.
Yeah. Because they like look like people.
Yeah. So I guess that makes sense.
Yeah, it definitely makes sense.
Mm-hmm. And also they don't have wings.
Oh,
So these
okay.
are the only ones that don't have wings, I think.
That kind of sucks.
Yeah.
For them.
But I think they can still fly technically.
Huh. Well, then maybe not.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, somehow they come down from the heavens, right?
Somehow, yes, you are right about that one.
Uh-huh. And they do have wings in like art and stuff, but not in the actual legends and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So the next one that I have here is the seraphim. These names are like kind of crazy.
Yeah, for real.
This one has 6 wings.
Okay.
2 are for flying, and the others are for covering their head and feet.
Why? Because they're cold?
I don't know. See, like, I don't get why these angels need to, like, cover themselves.
Yeah, no, me neither.
So these ones, like I said, they're in their second highest in rank, and they sing.
Oh.
So I don't know the tune of this, but apparently they sing "Holy, Holy, Holy" in unison when God approaches the throne.
Oh, I don't.
So
That creeps me out.
yeah. So I guess they're like standing next to a throne. Yeah.
That picture just really, really scares me in my head.
Yeah. Yeah. Just a creature with like 6 wings standing there.
Singing holy, holy, holy. Yeah, no. That sounds like a big no for me.
Yeah. Okay. Well, anyways, the word seraph, because the full name of this is seraphim, but then the word seraph means to burn in English, and in Hebrew the word seraph means venomous desert snake.
Oh.
So they have gotten an association with the cobra.
Okay.
And actually on the pharaoh's headpiece in Egypt, they have a snake on there, and that's because of its like holiness, I guess.
The snake?
Yeah,
Okay.
because they're associated with this type of angel.
Yeah. Okay.
Then yeah. So they're on like the pharaoh's headpiece, and they're also called the flaming one. So yeah, those ones are pretty out there, but there is another one that's even crazier than that.
Oh Lord. I'm not ready.
This one, you might have heard of these, because I feel like people have heard of these recently and have gone a little crazy. These are the Ophanium, or they're also called the wheels.
The wheels?
Yes.
Okay. That's very interesting.
Because these are angels, and they're beings made of interlocking gold wheels, each wheel covered in eyes.
Oh, absolutely not.
Have you heard of these before?
No, are you kidding me?
I have, and I thought we might have talked about it before, but
And where did you hear about these from? A magical golden wheel with eyeballs around it?
Yeah.
And you didn't tell me about it?
I thought I did tell you.
Well, I do think I would remember that one, honestly.
Yeah. Well, okay. Let me tell you a little bit more about them. They move like just floating in the sky, just like spinning around.
Okay.
And they guard God's throne, apparently. And it is actually theorized that like the authors of the Bible, when they were describing this, they were describing a UFO that they had seen.
Okay, well, okay, when you said that, I literally did immediately think that it looks like a UFO.
Mm-hmm.
So that's interesting. And how are they to say, you know what, I'm going to save my questions till the end.
Yeah, there's also another theory that like the people who wrote about this were on drugs, like taking psychedelics.
I think that's a very obvious answer to what they were seeing out there.
And the third explanation is that it's just a metaphor.
Oh, okay. Well,
it's just like all seeing because it has eyes all over it.
Yeah. You know, and somehow, in some way, I think it could be a little bit of all three.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, yeah. Probably could be. So those are like the 4 types of angels, and honestly, like all of them kind of freak me out a little bit.
Yeah, and like also I'm just confused, like why do they have to look so scary?
I know. So that's what I'm saying.
Like none of them really look not scary. I mean, well, other than like the human one, but like
yeah,
I don't know. Mm-hmm. Like, can you tell them apart from a regular human?
I don't think you can. And I think the only reason they made them like they say that they look like human is because they're the ones in the stories that interact with other humans.
Yeah.
You know, so like they had to make it like, oh, well, they just look like us, you know.
I mean, I guess so. That's wild.
Mm-hmm. And I do have a little bit here about guardian angels. Did you ever believe you had one, a guardian angel? No.
No, absolutely not. I have the worst luck in the world.
Well, that's not even what I mean. Just like
I'm just saying, okay, like my guardian angel should have been like protecting me a little bit through some of the things I've been through, and they were failing the job.
Even when you were like a little kid, though.
I personally never thought. I believe in them. I do actually think that they could possibly exist, but I do not think that I have one. Mm-hmm. That's what I'm saying.
I used to think I had one, and I also had an imaginary friend who was my guardian angel.
I had an imaginary friend, but I knew that he wasn't my guardian angel.
It was a imaginary friend named Angel, and she was Angel. Okay. Very creative.
And you also had a dog named Angel.
Yes, that was after.
Okay. So you're just obsessed with angels.
Yeah, I kind of, like a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I get it.
Yeah. So, guardian angels, they're supposed to, serve and protect whoever they're assigned to, which I always thought was interesting. Like, how do they get assigned,
Right. Like, where's the office? Right? Like, who's assigning who?
Right. Like, you're just, like, in line and the next person born. Something like that.
Crazy.
But many different religions actually hold this belief.
Oh.
So, Christianity, that's probably the one that everybody knows, that people, like, they have angels.
Yeah.
They're, like, the most, Christian angels are the most, like, known ones, I guess. But, like, Judaism, they have guardian angels. Islam, Hinduism, it's just, like, I didn't realize that it was such a widespread thing around the world,
Yeah.
So, like, all of these different religions and stuff have beings that watch over and protect them from harm. And I don't know, I just think that's cool.
No, that's super cool.
Yeah. And the imagery shown is often, like, human-like. And But, like, what if these guardian angels are, like, some of these other types of angels?
Right. Like,
You
how are
know?
we supposed to know?
Yeah.
Like,
I
you
don't
just
know.
have to take the risk? I don't know if I'm taking that risk.
I mean, is it a risk? What are they going to do? They're supposed to protect you.
I know, but I don't want to see a wheel of eyeballs in the sky.
What about the cherub ones? The
Only if they
ones
were
with
the
the...
Jonas Brother ones.
Oh, yeah.
No, I
The,
mean, they're fine, I guess. The regular
not the
one.
one with lion, ox, eagle, and human faces.
Okay, no, I would want to see that one only just to literally see it. Because I think that
Yeah.
would be the craziest thing I have ever seen.
Oh, I know. It would be.
So scary.
I think my angel is probably just, a human one. Human looking.
Yeah. But then that also, like, begs the question, like, are angels just, like, ghosts? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, see, that's another thing is, like, how are they connected to, people say, like, your ancestors are watching over you
Exactly,
and
like,
stuff.
my grandma's watching over me. Like, so is she my guardian angel?
Mm-hmm.
Or is that completely separate? I mean, I don't know the rules of the afterlife, I guess. I
Yeah,
guess
I
no
guess,
one does.
yeah. It just has to do with, like, your own belief, I guess.
That's true. Wow.
It could be both.
It could
It's just,
be.
like, a mixture.
That's very true.
Yeah.
Lots to ponder about that one.
Yeah, well, that is what I have about angels here. So, I don't know if we have any last thoughts on that, but...
Yeah, I don't know if I do. I'm just trying to picture like all of the different ones. Okay, for one, I did not realize there were different kinds of angels. So,
Yeah, see, I knew, but I just didn't really know the details on them, and I just wanted to,
yeah, definitely.
share
Like, I
the
mean, I
different
knew
kinds.
like cherubs were like baby angels, but I just assumed that like the baby angels just grew into a regular angel. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
Like, I don't
see, I
know.
always heard that they just live like that
Oh,
forever.
well, I mean, no, I guess they do, but that's just like, that's crazy, dude. Benjamin Button for life.
I know. And I always grew up with the little cheruby angels. My grandparents had that kind of artwork all over their house.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So yeah, I would always see them, and it just reminds me of being younger. And for a time I wanted like a tattoo of one, and I still kind of do, but
Yeah.
I don't know, I haven't committed enough to do
I think
that.
they're such cool tattoos, honestly. But
They're
then
like cute, but
they're
then it's
cute.
like it has to be religious too, and I'm like, I don't want the
Right.
religious part of it.
No, exactly. I just like want it because it's cute.
Yeah.
Tattoos do not have to have a meaning, guys.
Yeah, you're right.
PSA. No, I love that though. That's great. I feel like I learned so much about angels. I remember one time, like me and my brother, like when we were younger, we would mow our neighbor's yard, and like she would pay us because she was like too old to do it, and she told us a story one night that she like had awakened like she had fallen asleep on the couch, woke up in the middle of the night like very confused about where she was, because she was on the couch. And then in the corner was just like a glowing bright light.
Oh no.
And then like just this man with like angel wings stepped out, and I was like, what? Excuse me? I was like 7, first of all. So I was like, excuse me? And that's all I really remember. She told us like what he said, but I don't remember what it was. But I was like, that's interesting. She was like, I think that was my guardian angel. And I was like, well, maybe.
I mean, could have been, or
Was
alien.
she? Yeah, or was she just like sleepy? Or like having
or
like
that.
sleep paralysis, maybe.
Yeah.
Who knows? Guess we'll never know. But so once again, we're gonna be severely switching it up this week.
That's okay.
It's good, Back to our normal show. I am doing the Legend of Slaughterhouse Canyon.
Oh my gosh, that is so different.
I know. Just the name itself is just I can't imagine what we're going to name this episode. Like, cute angel babies in Slaughterhouse Canyon.
Right.
Oh, Lord. Okay. Well, anyways, so I'm going to set the scene for you guys. So it's early 1800s, and we're at the base of Luana's Canyon, which is located in Kingman, Arizona.
Okay.
And so today, this like the base of Luana's Canyon is known as Slaughterhouse Canyon. Just like to people who live around there, it's not actually called that, like, you know, legally on paper.
Yeah.
So the area where this story happens, Kingman, Arizona, was established as a town in 1882, and it served as a military camp and also an Indian reservation. So, you know, if I say that, it's already a bad sign.
Yeah, that's not.
Yeah, no. So like lots of people have died in this canyon for one, from the military, from the like reservations, like just it's already a little bit unbelievable.
Yeah, it's not a good mix either because they
Absolutely not.
are definitely
Enemies.
yeah, against
Yeah.
each other.
Yeah. So yeah, it wasn't good from the beginning. And the town was like super small. It was like a super small town, but it eventually it just really began to grow when they put a railroad routed like through the town. So that really put it on the map. There, people started like visiting more, you know, taking trips. So one other fun fact actually is that in the same area, there is the legend of La Llorona, which, in fact, you covered in episode 14, if you want to go listen to that. So actually, these stories are very similar to each other, and sometimes, and by some people in Arizona, they're considered the same story, told in a different way, though.
Okay.
And so that the people, I think they're saying like this ghost that people either call like the ghost of Slaughterhouse Canyon or La Llorona, like could be the same ghost.
Okay.
Or it could be two ghosts who happen to just share the same tragedy. So, you know, either way, not great. But, so, legend has it that during the early 1800s, a family moved down into the bottom of this canyon. Okay. And so back then, like, times were really hard on this family, and, like, they just were not making money. So they had no choice but to build this, like, really raggedy shack of a house. Like, you can't even call it a house. It's literally a shack.
Yeah.
At the bottom of this canyon, because they knew that, like, nobody would care. Like, they didn't have to pay for the land. Like, nobody wanted to live in this canyon. You know what I'm saying? So they were like, it'll be free. It won't cost much money. Like, we can make a house. And so they also had the idea of like, let's dig down deeper in this canyon and maybe we can find some gold or some other materials, and that way we can make money. However, after years and years of digging, they never found anything. And so they still remained extremely, extremely poor, just living in the canyon.
See, that's so sad. Like all of that hard work and then it's just nothing.
Just absolutely nothing. And they had tons of kids too. And so these kids were like child laboring out there trying to find something that literally was just not there, which is just awful. And so what's even more awful is that, so because he was the dad of the family, was so positive that they were going to find something, they just had to keep digging, is what he said. Only the father was ever allowed to leave this house, okay? And when he would leave the house, obviously he was like going in search of food or possibly gold, anything they could use really to make money. And he said that he did it because like he would do anything to keep the family fed and clothed. So one time, as you can probably imagine, the dad left out on his little journey and never came back. So
Yeah, that seems to happen sometimes.
it does seem to happen. So his
I
go
feel
ahead.
like back then too, like, you know, before we had phones and tracking devices and all this stuff that could find people, it's probably so easy to just disappear from your whole family.
Dude, you could totally disappear.
Uh-huh.
Totally. It would be so easy. Today, you're never getting away with it. But back then, you had all the opportunity. You really
could just change your name and everyone would be like, okay, yeah,
Okay.
that's your name.
Exactly. Like literally serial killers did that and they were like, okay.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
it's crazy. Sometimes I'm happy to live in the world that we live in now, honestly.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Just for a few reasons. So anyways, so yeah, his wife and kids were left all alone in this canyon. And because he was literally the primary like food getter, they slowly began to starve because there was like no animals down in this canyon. And so, as with any other canyon, if you yell loud enough, an echo will start to occur, right? You know?
Mm-hmm.
Echo, echo, echo. So as this family literally began withering away from starvation, it said that their screams would all circulate around the canyon. And so people who were living like above the canyon would just hear screaming coming down from the bottom from literally them
so
starving.
Scary.
Right. It's just, oh, it's so sad. So let's see. So allegedly, as the story goes, the mother could not bear to hear her kids like painful screams every single night. So she brutally murdered them and then took her own life.
That's
It's awful. It's really awful. But honestly, like, other than escape the canyon, what were they going to do? They were going to die of starvation. So it's just really sad. So visitors at Slaughterhouse Canyon have reported the feeling of like anguish that still fills the air. And it's said that on certain nights when the air is like super thick, you can hear the screams of the kids and the mother as she made the decision to end the suffering. So,
oh my god. So you hear it and then you hear it stop.
yeah. Yeah.
Ah.
Yeah. Yeah. And so, as if this wasn't already tragic enough, I just want to say, you know, the rest is also really dark. So, just as a fair warning to you. So, there are a couple of different versions to the legend of how she killed them. One version is said that she drowned her kids in the river and then floated them down the river. That I do not think is true. That is the story of how it gets tied in with La Llorona, because that's La Llorona's story.
Right, yeah.
But the real story, at least from what I could tell, was that the mom took a knife and slaughtered her kids, which obviously gave the name to the canyon, Slaughterhouse Canyon. The house is still down in the canyon, by the way. The little shack.
Scary.
Well, the remains of it. Yeah, and so today, many claim to have heard her and her kids scream throughout the canyon. And yeah, it is open to the public, so you can literally go there. And when you go there, apparently, it's like super, super hard to find. Which I'm like, that's a little sus. So I actually found the directions to go there. So if you want to go there, I'm going to tell you how to get there.
Oh my god. We have to go.
Okay, honestly, maybe we have to go. So when you get there, you will spot apparently like a couple of minutes before you reach like the dead end, like sign, whatever. You need to just go a little bit farther. Okay. That's what they say. They were just like, if you think you're there, go a little bit farther. But however, if you get close to railroad tracks, you've gone too far and that you need to head back. So I'm like, that's very vague, babes.
Oh, definitely.
That's very
I mean,
vague.
maybe if you're there, it's not.
Yeah, like maybe it makes more sense. But I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
sure. So I mean, you heard it from me. You heard it from here, folks. Like if you get to the train tracks, you're gone too far. So it's also said that the best time to visit Slaughterhouse Canyon is during the full moon. And if you do, it's possible that you could see the reflection of the mother in like any puddles of water or just like anything that could be a reflection in.
Creepy.
Creepy. Like, I don't want to see her.
What, is she just like standing over your shoulder or?
Like, I think like you expect, like you look in a puddle expecting to see yours and like instead you see her.
Oh my god, okay.
Yeah, sickening. And so people who also visit this canyon, they also say that it feels completely like somebody's watching their every move. And then after they felt like that for like a little bit, it would eventually, like their mind would start playing tricks on them. So now I'm going to tell you a story of people who actually went to investigate Slaughterhouse Canyon.
Ooh, okay.
Okay, so these two guys, they were fresh out of college for summer and they decided to go on a road trip through like a bunch of the national parks, like, you know, in the Utah, Arizona range, you know, all them famous ones. And so they like had the whole summer. So they were like, let's make it big. Let's do it. Honestly, goals. I'm trying to do that soon. So, yeah, they were like visiting a bunch of their dream locations, but basically, like every day they would just like wake up and Google places, and then that's how they would choose like where they would go.
Okay, see, we have to do this because we already have like a whole list of
I know,
places to go
right?
to.
Literally, we have to do this, but we can't do it like these people because
Oh God,
plot
you're about to
twist.
say something horrible.
Spoiler, it don't really integrate. Um, so they woke up in the morning one morning and they were Googling things, that were around them. And they came across this story called Slaughterhouse Canyon. And obviously they're like, okay, that sounds cool. Me. So
Right.
one of the men, his name is Dean. He was like way more into the paranormal than his friend Clayton. So I'm the Dean and you're the Clayton in this situation.
Yeah.
So basically the legend of this canyon really interested Dean, and he knew that they could easily add it to their trip and maybe even get some like paranormal evidence. And I just can't say it enough, but like me. So yeah, Dean was very easily able to persuade Clayton into changing their plan and going to Slaughterhouse Canyon. So fun. And apparently, what got him to say yes to Dean actually was explaining how, like, all the rest of the national parks that they had been to have been so packed with, like, other people. He was like, who's going to be at Slaughterhouse Canyon? Literally nobody.
Oh my
And so
God.
Clayton was like, you're right, dude. I'm so tired of people. Let's go.
I mean, that maybe would have convinced me too.
Honestly, it would have convinced me too. So
I get it.
I get it too. So, yeah, these guys go out and, they have like a van or whatever, but they decide that they're going to camp in a tent in this canyon. Like they want the full experience, which
Oh my God.
is maybe a little dumb. But these guys were like very much so like city guys, like not experienced campers, like they had no idea what they were doing. So they were already off to a bad start. And as they were approaching this canyon, they got really super nervous because they realized that they were going to have to set up their camp in the dark. Because at this point, by the time they made it, it was dark.
Ugh,
And
no.
if you've ever been camping, that's just, first of all, the scariest thing. Because you just want at least your tent to feel some kind of a safe, even though, like, what does a tent do for you? But, at least makes you feel some safeness. So... yeah, but luckily the moon was shining like super bright that night, so they were actually able to have a lot of light. Like, well, not a lot, but like a lot more than they expected. But they said that somehow made them feel even more uncomfortable. So, that's
What,
great.
like someone's watching them or something?
Yeah, I guess, or just they were like, why is the moon so bright? I don't know. Sometimes I be
Yeah.
feeling like that because I'm like, that moon really is shining real bright.
I mean, yeah, it is kind of weird when it's like brighter than normal.
Exactly.
Or something.
Exactly. So yeah, they park their car or whatever and they walk to a little flat area, like kind of close to the car, to try to set up camp. And it was empty and beautiful, and they were like, wow, it's so pretty here, like in this canyon, like the moon shining off the rocks, like it's insane. But they still have a horrible feeling. So as they were setting up the tent, Dean accidentally knocked a stake into the grass, like a little bit far, not like too far, but he was like, no worries, like I'll grab it. And he goes to get it. And he like disappears into the darkness for like just literally a second, just because it like went out of the lights, like of the headlights of the car. And Clayton is like freaking out, which honestly, you.
Okay, I mean, yeah.
Right. But, so Clayton was freaked out and he was like, Dean, and he was like, what? Oh man, I lost my spot in the story. Hold on. Okay. So, okay, yeah, he said, no worries, I'll go to get it. So Clayton was super freaked out because Dean was like, like not answering like him. He just said, And then he said, you need a knife? And
What?
like Clayton was confused because he was like, who are you talking to, first of all? Like, what? And
Yeah,
then he
what?
sees Dean pull out a huge butcher's knife,
What?
like off the ground. And it looked really old and like kind of rusty. And they decided like, we should probably throw this back into the river, like, where we found it.
Maybe.
Yeah, like maybe. Right. And they were like, they also just did not have a good feeling about this knife they were like, maybe that's like a murder, but like, let's just throw it in the river. So that's what they did. Threw it in the river. They were like, we don't want to have to deal with that. So they went back to camp, tried to shake it off. They were like, whatever, like there's not a murderer out here in these woods,
Not in Slaughterhouse Canyon.
First of all, let me tell you what. I don't know if I could go to Slaughterhouse Canyon, but I definitely would not stay in Slaughterhouse Canyon if I just found a random butcher's knife.
Yeah. No.
But they were like, no, come on. It's probably just some campers left it out here or whatever. So they went back to their camp to drink some beer, as you should.
Yeah, casual.
So Dean, as much as he was wanting to come here, he was starting to kind of regret it because he was just like getting more scared. Like the more beer he thought like getting drunk would help him. It didn't. The more beers that he drank, like the more paranoid that he was. So then they were like, let's just go to bed. Mm-hmm. So the two guys, they go in the tent, lay down, but Dean could not fall asleep. Okay. I think he was freaking himself out just like way too much. And then he started hearing noises. And at first he thought it was just Clayton, like, maybe like making a little mumble grumble noise. But then he realized that they were coming from like farther away. And then all of a sudden he hears someone screaming at the absolute top of their lungs. And so Dean like immediately wakes up Clayton because obviously, so they have no idea what to do because they're like, okay, first of all, we don't know what we're doing out here. We barely even survived. If there is a murderer out here, like, are we supposed to kill the murderer or like, like what,
right.
Like what's the plan?
Yeah. What is the protocol when
right.
this happens?
And also they don't have service because they're in the canyon. So like, obviously they can't just call 911. Mm-hmm. But eventually, they decided they're like, okay, let's just at least go check it out. So they get their shoes on, start walking around. And Clayton suddenly starts screaming at the top of his lungs. And why, you may ask? Well, that's because he stepped right on the knife with the blade up.
No.
How did that knife get back there? They threw it in the river.
Oh, no.
How could it be? They were so confused and also so scared because what were they supposed to do? You know what I'm saying? Like, he could barely walk now. And you can't really pull, like, something out of your foot, like, if you're bleeding, because, that'll make you bleed out faster.
Yeah.
So, Dean decides that the only option was for him to go run to the car and, like, drive it as close as he could to Clayton so they could, like, load up and go to the hospital.
Oh,
so he starts running and he can hear Clayton's screams and he was like, just keep screaming so I can hear you. You know what I'm saying?
Oh my God.
And he
said, okay, why is he not carrying him back?
Because I'm sure he's heavy. And I think the car is like a little bit far.
I mean, yeah, that's true.
But like, I don't know I don't know what I would do in this situation, honestly. I just would honestly give up. But Dean said that it was just like really weird because Clayton's screams that he was hearing was sounding exactly like the screams that he had heard before he woke Clayton up. Because if you remember, in the tent while he was trying to sleep, he heard somebody scream, which is why they woke up to begin with. So
what if it was his future self?
True. Ooh, that just gave me the chills. So he's running. He makes it to the car. Okay. He gets really, really excited. He's like, okay, thank God. Like, we can get to the hospital. Everybody's going to be fine. We'll get out of here. Until he stops in his tracks. Because the car's headlights were on. And he knew absolutely 100% that those car headlights were off because, first of all, it's in the middle of the night and you would have been able to see those headlights shining from miles away in the middle of this woods. You know what I'm saying? He was
That's so scary.
And he's also like, I'm not stupid. Like, I would have not let my battery die while we're out here in the woods. Like,
right.
I wouldn't have left them on. And so he goes into the car, tries to turn it on, and he hears a tap, tap, tap on the window of the car.
No.
And then something immediately grabs him and pulls him out of the car. Ooh. I just literally got sick almost just saying that because it made me so disgusted. So he couldn't really get a good look at what this thing was that was grabbing him and pulling him. But the only thing that he could see was that it had long, brittle, brown hair. And once it drug him, like, out of the car, like, towards the back of the car, it let him go and started walking into the woods. But okay, so she's like, it's like a girl. I don't know who this girl is, but she's like walking, right? She's walking away from him, and so he's like, okay, maybe I'm okay. And then she turns around and like smiles the biggest smile she can, and blood is just pouring out of her mouth.
Oh my God.
No, I know. Oh, I know. And so, yeah, he watched as the ground because, like, he was so, like, paralyzed in fear. And she, after that smile, she turns around and is starting to walk towards Clayton, who is still injured with this knife in his foot, okay?
Oh, no.
So, she allegedly, also, almost forgot this, was walking around saying, "Let mama make it better."
Oh my God,
So,
this is so scary.
I know. And so with that, we know now that this is the mom who slaughtered her kids when they were all starving in this canyon. So thank God, once Dean like was able to get up, he drove the car to Clayton, and Clayton was somehow fine. I mean, other than the fact that the knife was in his foot, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But so they get in the car, they drive to the ER, and the doctors are just completely confused, okay? They're like, we don't really understand why you brought him to the ER.
What?
And they were like, well, for one, look at us. We were attacked. Like, look at all of our cuts and bruises, because, like, they had been running through the woods and, like, the briar, so they had, like, you know, cuts and bruises and little blood just everywhere. And the only injury that the doctors could see was the cut from the knife in Clayton's foot. However, that cut from the knife in his foot, the doctor said that it wasn't a cut. Okay, the doctors could see a scar as if it had taken years to heal. Like it was already healed.
What?
Yeah. So they knew, obviously, that they had been attacked by the woman who gave Slaughterhouse Canyon its name. And whether or not anybody else believed them, they still, like, wanted to tell their story, and they still stick by it. So, I don't know. So spooky. 10 out of 10 spooks, Magooks,
Okay,
honestly.
no, yes, definitely, because that is probably, like, the scariest story that you've told on here.
Right. Like, oh, absolutely not.
When
like,
you said she was at his window, I just about lost it.
No, like the tap, tap, tap. First of all, honestly, I'm so sorry, Clayton. But, like, I would have probably just driven away. Like, is that so bad?
That's me out there with my foot cut.
Literally.
Literally. Me.
Like, I mean, what am I supposed to do? Fight a ghost woman? I guess I could try. But listen, I would be so scared. Like, I would be so scared. I mean, I would try to help you, okay? I would try to help you. But all I have to say is, like, you were like, let's go to Slaughterhouse Canyon. I'm like, first of all, I don't even like camping. But I definitely don't know if I can camp. Like, I don't know if I could do that. Like, this woman cannot come up to my car window and tap, tap, tap.
Yeah, no, we're not going.
Okay,
see, like,
good.
I'm not camping there, though. Like, I feel like, can you just go for the day? Or you have to
but
camp?
that's lame, Savannah.
Well, I'm not
No,
camping.
I'm kidding. I completely agree. I'm not staying there the night, but we should definitely explore it. In our Arizona trip, maybe there's like a Wendigo down there. Who knows?
Yeah, probably.
That's the only other story off the top of my brain that I could think of from Arizona. But
yeah.
So yeah, that's the legend of Slaughterhouse Canyon.
That's insane.
It was a really spooky one. I was like home alone when I was writing it, and I was honestly scared. I was like, maybe you need to turn this off right now, but I couldn't because I had other things I needed to do. But I was scared. I was, in fact, scared.
No, I was seriously scared when you were telling it like that. Oh my God.
As you should be. But definitely go check out our Instagram. You're going to want to see pictures of this shack house and this canyon. And
yeah, and I'll post pictures of the wheel angels.
Yeah, I need to see this. I need to see renditions of the wheel.
Yeah, it's like a wheel with eyes on it.
Because I feel like it's not what I'm imagining in my head. But we're going to see if it is. So definitely check out Instagram. Rate and review us on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. But other than that, I guess I really don't know anything else. What about you?
No, me either.
Well, as per usual. But, all right. Well, I guess we will See you guys next week.
Okay, cue the music.